I want to start with a glitch,
Yeah.
a digital hallucination.
Okay. Where are we looking?
I was going through this stack of sources on some Zambian professionals. We've got articles, blogs, Twitter threads, and I hit this one profile on the Mpalembe network.
Right.
It's about a woman named Petita Mwanza, and it claims very confidently that she was the first African model to walk the runway for Google Cloud.
Wait, for Google Cloud?
Explicitly, it says she modeled for Dior, Chanel, and Google Cloud. Now, unless I'm missing something, and server farms have started hosting fashion weeks, that just sounds wrong.
That sounds like a classic a data void hallucination. It's what happens when an AI or just a content scraper tries to write a bio for someone who is clearly important but doesn't have a standardized digital footprint.
Right.
The system panics. It just starts grabbing keywords to fill the gaps. She's a model. Google Cloud is a company. Let's just put them together.
And that glitch, that single weird moment of digital confusion is actually the perfect way into what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Because we aren't just looking at Petita Mwanza.
Right.
We're looking at a whole generation of Zambian professionals who, well, they seem to be breaking the algorithm.
It's a really fascinating pattern. You have this group lawyers, CEOs, tech leaders who just refuse to pick a single lane.
Okay, exactly.
They're building these huge influential careers, but their digital records are, well, they're messy, they're contested, or in some cases, they're just missing.
And our stack today is all over the place. We've got archived blogs from 2011, angry logs from a Wikipedia editing room. Our mission is really to figure out who these people are, why they're leading these quote-unquote double lives, and why the internet is having such a hard time just documenting them.
It's a story about African excellence, for sure, but it's also a story about digital sovereignty. I mean, who gets to decide what counts as history? And why does a lawyer walking a runway confuse a database so much?
So let's start with her, the woman who apparently broke the Google Cloud algorithm, Petita Mwanza.
Yeah.
Because when you strip away the weird AI stuff, the reality is it's arguably more impressive.
Oh, much more impressive. And a lot more complex.
So if you look at the official documents, the serious sources in our stack, she's a heavy hitter. She's currently the senior legal counsel at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development in Zambia.
And we really need to pause on that title. That's not a lightweight job. That is high stakes, bureaucratic, heavy lifting.
For sure.
You're dealing with government policy, development law, rural infrastructure. She's a graduate of the University of Zambia and the University of Cape Town. This is a very traditional, very high-level legal career path.
If you just saw her LinkedIn, you'd think, okay, successful government lawyer. But then you open this blog post from Elegance Possessions. It's from way back in 2011. And the headline is Zambia's supermodel, Petita Mwanza.
And the vibe is just completely different.
Night and day. In this interview, she describes herself as fun, fierce, and crazy. She talks about winning the Zambia supermodel search in 2008. She was the face of the Zamtel Real Deal campaign.
The big telecom company.
Exactly. And she represented the country at Swahili Fashion Week.
See, in a Western context, we're so used to seeing modeling as a phase. You do it in your early 20s, then you get serious and go to law school. Or you drop out of law school to be a model.
You have to pick a lane.
You can pick a lane. But Mwanza didn't pick a lane. She integrated them. She didn't stop being fierce and crazy to become a senior counsel. She was building these identities at the same time. And she got him to the top of both.
She really did. We're not just talking about local recognition. On the legal side, she won the International Human Rights Award from the American Bar Association in 2018.
The ABA.
And then in 2019, she was named one of the 100 most influential young Africans.
That ABA award is a massive deal. I mean, that is global recognition from one of the most prestigious legal bodies on the planet.
Right.
But, and this brings us right back to that glitch you mentioned, despite having an award from the American Bar Association sitting on her shelf, her digital presence is just, it's fragmented.
It's so messy. You have verified awards on one hand, and then these weird fringe sites claiming she models for server companies on the other. Why is that happening?
It's what you could call the validation vacuum. When mainstream Western media, your New York Times, your BBC, doesn't cover a specific region extensively, there's no single authoritative source for the algorithms to grab onto.
Oh, okay.
So you have a verified human rights lawyer, but because her main coverage might be in Zambian local media or African lifestyle blogs to the global internet, she looks, well, unverified.
Which creates a space for all this noise to just creep in.
Precisely. And she is not the only one. There's a distinct archetype that keeps showing up in these sources. It's almost like a career strategy. Look at Christina Sakala.
Right. She feels like the next generation of this model lawyer framework. We have a draft Wikipedia entry for her in the stat.
A draft, that word is so important. We'll come back to that.
The stats are classic model stuff. Born in 1993, 1.76 meters tall. She represented Zambia at the top model of the world pageant in Egypt, Miss Globe.
So again, operating at an international level, representing her country on global stages.
But just like Mwanza, the education section is stacked. She holds a law degree from the University of Lusaka and also studied at Cavendish University.
Okay, so we need to ask why this combination keeps happening. Is it just vanity? Is it a coincidence that they're both smart and beautiful? Or is this a strategy?
Well, look at the ecosystem she's in. The sources list the local designers she worked with. Kapasa Masanda, she's at Mugalub. This isn't just a hobbyist scene. This is a real, vibrant local economy in Lusaka.
And she was also a brand ambassador for Airtel.
The telecom giant.
That's the key right there. In a market like Lusaka, celebrity capital being a recognizable face is a massive business asset. If you're just a lawyer, you're one of many. If you're just a model, you're kind of vulnerable to the industry. But if you're a lawyer supermodel,
You're a unicorn.
you're a power brand. You can negotiate contracts with Airtel and actually understand the fine print because you have the law degree. You can walk a runway and then handle legal compliance for a government ministry.
It's a hedge, a career hedge.
It's a brilliant portfolio career. It's basically saying, I refuse to rely on a single income stream or a single definition of my success.
But here's where the frustration comes in. You have
Yeah.
these women building these sophisticated, multi-hyphenate careers. They're winning international awards. And yet, we found them in what's basically a Wikipedia war room.
The tea house.
We have a log here from the Wikipedia Tea House Question Archive 892. This is where you see how the sausage gets made, or in this case, how it gets thrown out.
This log is such a rare look into the gatekeeping of the internet. It's usually totally invisible to us, what's happening in it.
So you have this user, Symbolizo4, and you can just feel the frustration coming off the screen. They're pleading their case. They're trying to create profiles for the Zambian artist Salma Sky and for our lawyer model Petita Mwanza, but the pages keep getting rejected.
Or pushed into draft mode.
Exactly. Pushed back into draft mode. And the reason is always the same, isn't it?
Let me guess. Lack of reliable sources?
Bingo. Lack of reliable sources. Zomboli4 is practically yelling in the comments. They're saying there is a lot of media coverage. They're pointing to articles, awards.
But the editors aren't buying it.
Nope. They want the so-called gold standard sources.
This is the systemic bias of notability. Wikipedia's rules say that to be notable, you need coverage from significant, reliable, independent sources. But in practice, that often means Western media. If you're a superstar in Lusaka and your coverage is in The Mast or the Lusaka Times, a random editor in London might just look at that and say, no, not reliable enough.
So you end up with this absurd situation where Petita Mwanza has a physical award from the American Bar Association on her shelf.
A real tangible object.
But she can't get a permanent Wikipedia page because the digital paperwork doesn't fit the Western template.
It acts as an eraser. It literally erases their history from the global record. Stumbleive4 isn't just trying to make a fan page. They're fighting for these women to exist online. And if you're not on Wikipedia, in the eyes of the global digital economy, do you even exist?
That is just incredibly bleak. It feels like a glass ceiling, but for information.
It is. It's a battle for validity. And it forces these professionals to work twice as hard, once to do the work, and then again to prove the work even happened.
I want to pivot for a second to the male perspective, because this Renaissance approach isn't just limited to the women. We found some fascinating material on Komba Malukutila.
The philosopher CEO.
That is the perfect title for him. His sources paint this picture of someone who is deep in the corporate world. He's the CEO of MTN Zambia FinTech.
Again, a huge role. MTN is massive, managing director level. He's dealing with mobile money, financial infrastructure, the actual backbone of the economy.
He's got the Masters in Management strategy from UNZA. But his Twitter feed, it is not quarterly reports. It's almost philosophical.
He completely rejects the standard corporate grind set, doesn't he? He has that great line, you don't clock into excellence, you commit to it.
And he explicitly